In this video, EVRC guy tries some gears that he thinks are the best ever.
These gears are the best.
He keeps hurting his ass.
Ow. Ooh. Oof.
He likes the motor because it's so quiet.
I can't hear this one at all.
And he comes up with a brand new way to test suspension. The f***ing idiot.
This is the Fafrees F700M. It's a very well made road bike which allows you to pedal way over the legal assist speed for e-bikes, and it's got some pretty top spec. This is the Fafrees 700M, not to be confused with the 700W, which is a drop frame version for women, I guess. I'm going 30 kilometers per hour. I am pretty tired though, but to be fair, it's because I haven't actually turned on the power. So I'm going to do that now. Yeah, there we go. Let's have a little rest. Right, so this is basically kind of a hybrid e-bike, I suppose. You could call it a road bike. It doesn't have the racing handlebars, but it's not a mountain bike. It's not a cruising bike. It's probably a really good commuter style e-bike. There's no suspension and there's nice big wheels. I can barely hit the floor. While we wait the lights, let's just see how big this bike is, including weight, and how big you can be to ride it. Weight is about 20 kilograms, which means I should be able to pick it up with one hand. Ooh, yeah. Not too bad. Easy to get up if you needed to get over gates and stuff like that. Obviously much easier if you use two hands. Height-wise, now, to be fair, you do need to be pretty tall to get on this. One thing I noticed about this quick release is that there wasn't much screw to get on, so I'm kind of worried I'm going to lose that screw. So let's push that right down there. It is quite a tight fit. The lowest point, I'm on my tiptoes, so me being 5'9", this is probably the ideal height for someone about 5'6" or 7. If you're under 5'6", I'd probably stay away from this bike. Now, how high does it go? Right, come on, let's get up. Min insert. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get on this. Come on. Come on. No, it's too tall. No, okay, that'll do. And it'll be totally fine if you're like Hulk Hogan, 6'8". Right, torque sensors are kicking instantly. Great, going up the hill, fantastic. So yeah, it's got a torque sensor, meaning as soon as it felt a bit of pressure on the pedals, it gave us power. Here we are, worst road in Wolverhampton, no suspension, tiny tyres, 700C, that's where the name comes from. That's the diameter, which is about, oh, this is horrible, 28 inches, so quite big tyres. By 42C, which is the wideness, which I believe is around 1.8 inches wide, so fairly narrow tyres, and it is safe to say that over bumps, this is not the most comfortable bike. Plus, it's got this admittedly very nice Velo saddle, a nice kind of brown faux leather, which is probably great for going fast, but isn't the most comfortable over bumps. Ow. New test for the channel. This is called the R test. Let me know in the comments if we should keep the R test or not. So basically, bit of rough ground now. This bike has no suspension, but when bikes do have a suspension, we'll still be able to test it. So how does it cope with the R test? So when it gets rough around the corner, I'm going to just go R. And that brings us to the end of the R test. And I think, pretty sure that's a foolproof test, wasn't it? This is a 250 watt e-bike though from Fafrees. Totally legal, so there's no throttle. Here we are at the hill climb where we're going to be testing its torque. I'm not expecting to be able to get up there because it's got 40 Newton meters, which isn't the most. And unfortunately, we won't be able to give a full proper time because it has got a torque sensor. 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, it's got a torque sensor, no throttle, which means we can't get maximum power without actually putting torque on the pedals. And obviously if I put torque on the pedals, then I'm helping the bike and we're cheating. So what I've done is, if I just say I'm in a low gear and I'm putting little effort in, and we'll see how far it gets or how long it takes. Because I am barely trying right now. I'm still kind of breathing heavily from when I didn't have the motor on, but I'm honestly not trying much. But I've got to keep pushing down, otherwise we get no power. As we go up the hill, to be fair, we're slowing down because I'm still trying to maintain the lack of power, but we can go up the gears. And the gears, 7-speed Shimano torque, no they're not actually. They usually are, for these, they're not even. Altus, they are Shimano Q's 9-speed. So I'm actually going up really easily. Not really fast. I could try and go faster, but it's fine. We're going about 14 kilometers per hour. But before I start talking about how I know that, I've got to talk more about them gears. They are extremely nice. They've got the undershifters, like you often get, which are generally the best type of shifting. So it's like quick shift down and then up, you can just click, 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 or you can push it as far as you can. So if I get to gear 1, like I'm barely pushing down at all, but obviously the torque sensor is not activated. So despite being in pedal assist 3, I'm only going 16 kilometers per hour. So let's go back into a normal gear. Right, let's try and get some speed. So we got the power, which obviously cuts out at 25. Got to about 35 kilometers, not trying mega hard, but also not going easy. But yeah, I haven't found a way to put it in miles per hour yet. It is a very, very basic computer, and unlike most, which are on the handlebars, this is on the crossbar, and it's tiny, it's only got one button. Let's have a look at that computer up close. So unfortunately the frame rate isn't matching up. It won't flash like this in real life, but it's got the simple button. So here's turning it off. So it's off when I hold it down. There we go. Hold it down again to turn it on. And then if I press it once, you can see the pedal assist goes 1, 2, 3. And then double press, it tells you odo, max speed, average speed, double press again. Battery indicators up there. If you long press for about a second, the lights come on and that dims and you can see a little light thing there. And that's all there is to know really. I haven't found a way to get it at kilometers per hour, and I'm pretty sure you can't unlock it to make it go faster. As far as I can tell, there's no rear light. I'll correct myself later on if I'm wrong. It does have a rear light. I love the way the wires aren't all just messed around everywhere. I mean, they are a bit at the front, that's my fault. We do get some zip ties and I just haven't bothered. But they go into the frame in there, into the down tube where the battery is. And then I actually didn't know that this rear light, so hold for a second, 1, rear light should come on. Yeah, I had no idea this was a rear light because I didn't actually see any wires. Somehow, there's a wire getting to there. I don't know where. This was already on, so it must have been like, it must be running under there or something. I've got no idea. Or even through this. I don't even know. But yeah, that's the rear light that comes on when you turn it on, so it's wired in, so it's brilliant. Not a brake light though. Slightly downhill now. 34 kilometers per hour, feels good. It feels like a very nice commuter. If the roads are good, then it is perfectly smooth. It's comfortable, although that saddle is a bit hard. But I actually find in the short term and over bumps, hard saddles are worse. But over a long period of time, I actually find hard saddles to be more comfortable. But one thing I did say on the ride is about something about soft saddles and hard saddles, and that over a longer distance I prefer hard saddles. This is a hard saddle. My ass is still killing. But the power in this, it kicks in really well. And because the bike is generally like a fast bike, mechanically, I don't mean with the motor, you can ride it pretty fast anyway. So I'm on no power again. That's how it feels over a speed bump. So no power. Ooh. Now there's pedal assist 1. I'm in pedal assist 2 now. Right, let's push off. Yeah, so I can feel that pushing me away. That was called Tour, by the way, pedal assist 2. I press it again, pedal assist 3. I'm in sport mode. To be honest, I can't tell much of a difference. Now, one thing I don't like about the computer, one, it's not the easiest to see. I can see it. It's not sunny, but it's quite bright, and I can still see the speed. And I can see the pedal assist, even though it's quite small. But the main issue I have is that it isn't on the handlebars next to this bell, which isn't very good. Yeah, the bell's crap. If I want to change pedal assist, I've got to go down. I've got to go down there and press the button, take my hand off the handlebars, which isn't ideal. And obviously, being one button, it's harder to kind of change stuff, but it's not that difficult. You get used to it pretty quick. But it is fairly basic. The hand grips, they look nice. They're very posh. Again, they're Villo and that brown leather, or faux leather, like the saddle. They're a bit spongy, but they could be more comfortable if we had the flared palm rests. Oh, a bit of wind, That's nice. You don't get rear rack, but you get a rear thing that a bag can go on. And you do get front and rear black plastic mudguards. It seemed pretty good. Had a bit of an issue with the mudguard, so I'll tell you what, let's take this time to see what came in the box and how it arrived. And you can see the issue that you might end up having, if you're a bit silly like me, with getting the mudguard on. It's a medium-sized box, and that's how it's packed. In the box, we've got a user manual and zip ties, we've got a 3-amp charger, we've got some pedals, we've got a quick release for the wheel, we've got a front light, very small, and a gift box which contains a happy face, normal face, inner tube, extra valve dust cover, brake pads, multi-tool, useful for being out and about, but crap for putting bikes together. Another tube and some extra tools in there. It's not really a gift box, it's just stuff that should really come with a bike anyway. Oh, bit stiff that. Handlebars have got one of them targets in the middle, so you don't have to guess where your handlebars are meant to be, which is very nice. Get the pedals on. Meow. The hell's that? Came out. It's just a piece of plastic. Just give it a good push. Right, so if you're having trouble getting the wheel on, just make sure, especially if it's upside down, this fork goes away from the bike, because it was set up and quite tight with the handlebars to be going towards the bike, and the wheel didn't actually fit. So when you actually realise that's going on, everything fits. These are adjustable, and you need to unscrew one of these. Now, I originally went with that one when it was on backwards, but I think on the picture they use that one. So I'm going to try and get that to there, and to do that, you have to unscrew these, and these will then extend, because if you don't extend it, that's too close to the wheel. So push it along, and then it should be fine. And the bike is put together, it's on charge in the 3-amp charger. It should charge up the 10-amp hour battery in 3 to 4 hours. Now, the Fafrees F700M has actually got a Presta valve, because it's got these thin tyres. So I'm digging this out. I did a video on this a couple of weeks ago, the flex tail tiny pump, and I've got the Presta valve on it. When you do these, you've actually got to unscrew this, because if you press that, that lets out the air. So you unscrew that. When it's screwed in, you can't let out the air. So you unscrew it, shove the pump over it. Oh, see, it's lost some. And then you can see the pressure is adjusting. It's on 36. So now with one hand, I'm going to try and press the button. There we go. And we're going to get it all the way up to 65, I think it was. So yeah, handy little pump that does Presta valves. I was using this one before, the one behind the cat, which is pretty good, but I'm feeling a bit lazy. Oof, it is very bumpy. Now let's talk about the battery. The battery does not come out of the bike. It is in the down tube, hidden away, which makes this bike look very much, especially with the hidden computer, it just looks like a normal bike. That motor at the back, the 250, is very small, so you'd have to really be concentrating to spot it. So yeah, it looks like a normal bike. The battery, very small, is 10 amp hours, 36 volts, which equates to 360 watt hours. And they say it's got a range of 100 kilometers, which is about 60 miles and a bit. Obviously that would be a low pedal assist, but because it is torque sensor, you'll be helping all the time. And if you do run out of batteries, these kind of bikes are extremely pedalable, so you won't feel stranded like you might be if you're on a fat tire 40 kilogram monster without a battery. But we'll drop in at the end of the video with the range I get. Right, so that's how we did a brake test. So let's let this car get, oh God, ow. Try and get to 25 kilometers, put it here at the tree. I'm gonna put the stand down. Nice big stand. 2, 3, and a bit. Now the hydraulic brakes are absolutely fine. I felt the clamping down. However, the narrow tyres mean there's not as much contact on the floor, so you're not going to expect an amazing, dead little bird, an amazing brake distance, but they're pretty good. I love the way it just kicks in straight away. It's a really good torque sensor, I think, because I don't usually like torque sensors, but I have so many fat tyre bikes that I think it's got to be on the right kind of bike, and this is the right kind of bike, and it's got to be a good torque sensor as well. And I think this is a good torque sensor. It really just feels like an extension of you, and you don't have to try too hard to get up to speed, because this bike will easily just get you to 15.5 like it's nothing. And by that point, the power's gone anyway. But because the bike is so kind of sleek and light, and it wants to go fast, you don't feel that jarring sensation when the power cuts out. Let's get it down a curve. I'm not going to like this. Ow. You can't even hear the motor. I've had some whiny motors recently. I can't hear this one at all. That is nice. Now the question is this bike worth your money? They actually give the price in euros, 1,300 odd euros, which comes to about 1,140 English pounds. However, pretty sure there's going to be a discount code. There's always a discount code. So let's say this is under 1,100. Is it worth it? Well, it's got a lot of nice stuff. These are the best gears I've had so far. This is a budget e-bike channel. So far, the budget e-bikes I've tried, these gears are the best. So Shimano Q's 9-speed, they're excellent. What lets it down for that price? It's a small battery. They always are though, aren't they, these kind of bikes? There's another channel, which I do like. It seems like pretty much all the bikes they test look like this, and the batteries are always tiny. But to be fair, usually their bikes are more expensive, or a lot more expensive, like over 2 grand. So when you compare it to those kind of, Istali and them kind of bikes, then it's actually really good value because you're getting a similar quality equipment. But yeah, it is a shame though, because when you compare it to other bikes that are less expensive, you do think, oh, that battery could be a bit bigger. The Chaoyang tyres, maybe they could have been a better brand. The Bell, that's not very, I can't even get to work. Right, so I've done about 14 miles. The battery is down to 2 bars, so it's looking like I would get about 20 and a bit over 20 decent miles. That is pedal assist 3, 100 kilogram rider. Not too cold today actually. So the claim of 100 kilometers though, obviously much lighter rider, maybe warmer, and pedal assist 1. So I think 20 miles, to be fair, for a bike like this isn't too bad, especially as that it is designed for someone who really likes to actually ride, and it's just to help them along a bit. But one thing I was really impressed with is just that little motor. I could not hear it compared to some of the loud, obnoxious swarm of bee motors that I've had recently. You go past someone on this bike, they don't know it's an e-bike. It feels like a very well put together bike. So I'm not going to say you need to go and buy this bike, but if it does everything you need, and obviously it's got no suspension, if you need a lightweight bike that is going to get you to work where you'll be pretty much doing the whole commute yourself. Maybe you want to get a little bit of exercise, put a little bit of effort in, then it'll take you up hills as long as you're willing to help too. And this bike is pretty good. I like it. If you want to check out this bike, do use the link in the description to help out the channel. If you enjoyed the video, it helped, do give us a thumbs up. But if not, thumb us down and tell us how we can improve. Thanks for watching, and until next time, ride safe.